Hello and welcome. This is game three of the April 25th tournament. This is round one. Here I am piloting a new deck, at least for this YouTube channel. Um, this deck is going to feature, this game is going to feature my mono blue deck versus PerroPerro playing once again his red and green deck, looking for its first win. You see here during the deploy phase, I've been very unlucky deploying my Vanessa opposite troll. Um, And I mean, he chooses to commit the Ursa against the Meepo on right lane, which suits me fine because Ursa really does like to hit towers in these red decks. Although this is a slower red deck. Um, so I just open up the game, um, stealing Gush, which I probably would have rather had any of these other cards. Clear the deck for the denial if anything else, even into the fray. But luck being what it is, I picked up Gush. Um, so here, uh, Vanessa's taken 3 damage, and unfortunately, with fervor stacks, it's going to take me just low enough to die at the start of next round if I allow it. So that's why this was such an unfavorable matchup. Um, I do opt to just go into Midas Greaves. This is going to be a long game. Um, happily I can just bounce Vanessa. I mean, unfortunately, I'm just not able to try to use Vanessa's ability to hit Time of Triumph yet. But, the combination of Skywrath is going to allow me to kill this troll before it gets too big. I do have the option of also killing the Outward Devourer, which, um, while it would be okay, at this point in time, like, it would come back, sort of around 7 mana, and, it's uncertain whether I'd be able to just kill it again right away. So I do just go ahead and gush and kill the troll, stop him from killing my Skywrath. Um, it does annoyingly allow this to happen. Well, this is one of the powers of these OD red decks, is this Marrow Fell coming in on turn 2. It's before you've had a chance necessarily to um, put any health items on your heroes. So Lina eats it, which, is unfortunate because one of the big ways that this deck tries to win in concept is actually just through Lina. Basically, the other win con for this deck is stacking items with Vanessa. So at this point, I opt to just take income because I would like to try to get Vanessa a higher item. So um, this deploy should be pretty good. I mean, here I have Meepo deploying to a lane where we can potentially kill Ursa. The 2 damage from the blink can combo with another spell to, you know, result in killing him off easily. In this case, he opts just to duel my Meepo, which, you know, given that my plan here was just to kill him and remove the econ on this Greaves, I mean, a good enough choice. It also just lets him proc this and push the Ursa damage forward, so now he's making real progress against this. He's also been making progress on this left lane. So I mean, his game plan is going well at this point, and my Lina game plan has faltered a bit. I do opt to go ahead and just steal again. There's nothing I particularly want to use. Like, I would rather save this mana short for later in the game. Um, I could call the reserves, but I thought that was a little premature and it wouldn't allow me to get initiative. I mean, it's possible that it would have been smarter to go ahead and call the reserves right lane anyway. Um, but overall, I think that to call the reserves will usually save more damage than, you know, just 10 damage in a lane. Here I considered blocking with determined Gravels, but I wanted to take initiative so that I'd be able to, annihilate or get off my Lina spell. Unfortunately he's got his Spirit Swordsman up, which is, gonna complicate the game further for me. I did pick up enough gold to get one major item for Vanessa here. This is not really the sort of item that you want on Vanessa. I would have preferred, to give her Sheep Stick, which is also in my deck, along with sorry, what is it called? The Horn of the Alpha. So here I opt to just, do some damage to left lane, which, was a critical lane in terms of being the most hurt lane. Um, and it's also the lane where my important Vanessa hero was already in place. Um, so here I opt to just block some damage. I'm going to go ahead and put a better late than never into the right lane in this circumstance. And the reason for that is that I'm looking to cast Annihilation. And the reason these little better late than never dudes are in here is basically just to cast Annihilation on other lanes or provide extra blockers and things like that as sort of a tech card. So, that's the reason they're here. So we're just setting up for Annihilation to stop the right lane next time. So, altogether, like, this is a very good turn for the deck. He only has one hero returning. His mid lane, he hasn't dealt any damage yet. Right lane is, theoretically going to be annihilated, assuming that he actually spends his initiative and doesn't have initiative. We can see in his hand he does actually have into the fray, so he is going to be able to retake initiative. But even with initiative, it's not very easy to take out this card, and he actually misplays here, so he played his clear the deck, which was a total waste. Um, all it did was kill this one creep, which was going to happen anyway. And since this little guy is also a creep, he's not even affected by clear the deck's ability. Um, yeah, so wishing I had enough mana to cast this, but just to gain initiative so that I can be guaranteed to get Annihilation. I do go ahead and play this Mortar Dagger, which is a bit of a waste, but again, I really want to start making progress on this tower, and given that it's going to be 2 turns unopposed, I want to try to make the most of this and, if possible, take out lane 1 before he can deploy, um, anything that would really be able to stop him. And here, because my plan is to annihilate right, I'm just going to go ahead and put Meepo in lane 2 and give me another hero to, you know, basically nuke these guys down. So he gets to play Mask Redeemer here, which was a great draw for him. Um, Otherwise, he was really facing basically like almost assured death from this Skywrath Meepo combo. You can see that the combo itself just does enough damage to kill OD, and in combination with this, I have Arc Bolt. So I just need Arc to bounce back to Troll. But unfortunately, I got all my bounces going left. If I had just one more bounce going back right, I had 2 chances to get it. So I would have been able to just remove this troll and keep my Skywrath alive. Really unfortunate. In this case, because I made this play on mid, which I was really attracted to being able to kill both these heroes and keeping mine alive. I don't have the mana to perform Annihilation yet, and I'm a little considering of what I want to do in this case. Um, I do just opt to go ahead and get rid of the troll because I don't want to be pressured in all three lanes. Um, it does leave this unprocced, and in retrospect, this could have been a mistake. Like, it's possible that I would have done much better off if, for instance, I had put better late than never on Lina to move over into this lane, especially just given how predictable it was that given his mana that he would have actually removed something over here. So if I had just put a blocker in there and pushed an extra 4 damage, um, I might be in a circumstance where, if I draw Lightning Bolt, I could Lightning this down and instantly get it. Um, so a bit unfortunate, but not much that can be done there. Um, Overall, at this point in the game, I'm feeling okay. I mean, I don't have a second lane is the biggest problem. Um, I do feel fine about guarding left lane though at this point, even though as I commit even more heroes to it. Um, well, I can't quite decide what I want to do. I think the game is going to be decided on left lane, so I opt to put a third hero there. Um, so in this circumstance, I can go ahead and play Annihilation, but unfortunately, because of not blocking last turn, I will actually lose that lane to Spirit Swordsman. Um, Altogether, though, I can still make this play happen by just blocking the Spirit Swordsman afterwards. I mean, it's just unfortunate that so much has to be committed here, and it only has 1 health, which can be killed instantly by Troll or Tidehunter later if they redeploy. Um, yeah, in this case, I opt to do better late than never, just to block and ensure this has 1 more health. At this point, I've already ensured this tower is going down, but I do opt to play my sheepstick here and gain initiative. He has 2 units coming down, and I have 1. So this leaves him in a bit of a quandary because, well, in this case, he actually had his initiative taking, which helps him out a lot. But he's still actually in a very difficult position because, I have my Skywrath coming down mid, which can certainly remove his mid hero and stop it from dealing damage. And then on the left lane, you know, again, because the removal on red takes the form of battling, and he doesn't currently have Mortar Daggers up, he can't even really trade with the Vanessa. Like sitting here with 14 damage and Quick Strike, it really makes it difficult for him to enter this lane. And like, even though he has initiative, it's going to be tough for him to do anything to stop me from sheep sticking his hero. So, you know, Vanessa's passive, reduce the item cooldown to 1, and sheep stick hexes someone for 2 rounds. So Vanessa by herself, as long as she keeps initiative, can keep 2 heroes entirely disabled. So we see here he opts to go right lane and uses troll to ensure that he's going to finish that one off. Um, he does go ahead and use Mortar Dagger to eliminate Lina, who he's very concerned with. Otherwise Lina would have just done Lightning Bolt and done damage to the tower, so it would have been a big round for Lina. Um, you know, what is being left open is Sheep Stick, and next turn he's not going to have extra mana. Although at this point, extra mana is not too huge a concern. Here I'm sort of considering whether I should try to get Time of Triumph or just Sheep Stick this OD. I think ultimately the choice is Sheep Stick OD. I just really couldn't decide if I wanted defense trading this hero or do something else. But given that this troll is likely to teleport mid, um, I wouldn't really be able to remove mid from consideration with just defense trading Kobold. Um, so here, I mean, I have Wave of Badness that can kill. Um, could just throw a Greevil to block. There's sort of a lot of options, and I do have initiative steal back at the end of it. So here I have Arcane Assault, just if I want to waste turns. A little uncertain about what I actually want to play because I don't really need to commit anything since he hasn't committed a Blink Scroll. I'm saving my Wave of Madness for Troll to move over. That would kind of be the dream here because then I could just use my Conk Shot and Wave of Madness and both his heroes would die and Sky would be remaining and that would be game essentially, I think. I do opt to just take initiative and draw a card with Arcane Assault. I think I just pass in this case because he has 10 mana and I want him to actually have to spend it and still be able to retake with Conk Shot if needed. So I do just pass back to him, trying to see if he is again going to teleport his troll over, which would seal his fate. But he opts to pass because Perro's a wise player. Some other players would have tried to force this. Especially given that he theoretically could have just, no hesitated afterwards and killed my my Sky. An experienced player, he's well aware that, a blue deck is going to definitely be able to deal with a teleporting troll in some sense, especially with, 4 mana is still going to be enough. So I position Meepo right in front of the LC. This lets me lightning strike him, but now I'm a bit stuck because I have to choose between sheeping left or lightning striking first. So given that this is going on, I perhaps should have considered doing lightning strike right away, but this did actually work out. PerroPerro actually makes an important play here, dropping this hourglass on the tidehunter. Unbeknownst to myself at the time, this guarantees that his tidehunter is going to be unsheeped next turn. So his hero is going to get deployed and be able to ravage potentially. So here I'm just trying to decide like exactly how to play this. I didn't want to commit too much and be unable to deal with troll. But you can see that they actually run with 3 and 1 health after using the Sky Meepo combo, allowing me just value Dragon Sleeve them down. At this point of the game, I can Mystic Flare down Troll. I'm still waiting to kind of see if he's going to come over here, and at this point I sort of want to preserve mana if nothing else, because I want to be able to tweak my little versatile occultist here. Overall, I think I may, I'm not sure I really have a chance to win here because the problem is Tidehunter comes in able to ravage and do a lot of damage. The thing is, by teleporting over Troll, he puts this tower within range of 2 turns, which is no hesitation range. unfortunately, it seems like both of my towers at this point are locked into being in no hesitation range. Unfortunately, um, I could have Mystic Flared earlier and removed the troll threat from mid, but if I had done that, I wouldn't have had enough mana um, to regain initiative. Because what you're going to see, like coming down next play, is basically some essentially irrelevant plays. Unfortunately, the situation is that, well, I guess he's choosing not to, hesitate left, but so I guess he didn't have the kill here. So I guess this was actually a pivotal flaw in the game. It's like just not removing Mystic Flare here. The other problem was that I miscalculated in terms of the tide because, you know, he's able to just throw out the ravage. Um, and here I'm, sadly considering my options as far as like I can kill one of these people, but I can't remove both. Um, I do Mystic Flare the troll now, which is, too late essentially. Um, I need to do that in order to prevent the no hesitation loss in mid. But, now again, because of the dispel from Hourglass, um, Tide gets to Ravage here, which, broke my plan of just Sheepstick locking down this lane. So I do have one more trick up my sleeve in terms of Call to Reserve. Um, at this point, he has enough damage, and um, I opt just blink the sky over as well. Uh, hoping that that's going to be enough. And, for my final card, I do have Call the Reserve as well. So I come in to try to block this. Um, the sad thing is that unfortunately in this case he has just enough to actually guarantee the win here with the Centaur. Um, I mean, this was such an intense game that I just maybe I'm just unsure whether I could have won. I guess I would have won this game if Troll had been Mystic Flare down the run before. It seems like when I deployed, I actually had enough blockers. Um, I don't know. Maybe I would have just succumbed to the same sequence no matter what. Um, Actually, it seems the key flaw that I had here was not deploying my Skywrath with the blink over to the front of Tidehunter. Um, because in that case, he wouldn't have been able to play Marrowfell. If I had appreciated that Marrowfell could come out and eliminate my hero right away, he would have had to play his Centaur right away, and that would have enabled me to just, um, yeah, I think at that point, if I had then been able to um, move my hero across with whatever you call this, the the melee creep, the last spell, I would have actually been able to block both these, and he wouldn't have had an AoE removal anymore. He could have only removed one of the two blockers to deal like 3 damage. Would have gotten me to the next round, which, a very strong chances at that point that I would have won. So, good games to Perro. This one was just incredibly close, and coming out of the game, I was pretty sure that I knew that I had some way to win, and now that I've seen it all, it was actually really close. And the one decision that I was most thinking about, the troll getting Mystic Flare does actually seem to have been pivotal. Um, Although it would have been really, really tough to actually find the win there. Um, Regardless, well played to PerroPerro. He did go on to make it to the finals. And as always, this was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys learned about this decks. And you know, we'll see about posting future tournament content. Thanks for watching, everyone.